Hey, how's it going in the studio? I'm going to be talking about OKR or objectives and key results and what they are. I was looking to how to structure software that I'm going to be working on, right? So I'm still doing a lot of research on that. So it's just because it's not enough to have it, you need to understand what would be best way to track different metrics on that software, right? So let's take a look at what information I can find online. Other than that would be perhaps depending on softwares might use different OKRs, right? Some would track something in retention, so how much time people would spend on different softwares. Some people might track different click-through rate on the different websites. Myself, I'm very familiar with manufacturing, right? Or perhaps working out, other areas, not necessarily software developer. Development and all the process, what will be important, is something that I'm currently doing a lot of research on, as well as I'm looking to share some information with people who are interested. OKR stands for Objectives and Key Results. It's a goal setting framework that is widely used in the business and organizations to define their track objectives and their outcomes. Interesting, interesting. Some of the information of that, some people would look for how fast they can increase number of users. So that's an example of OKRs, right? So they would set an objective for themselves. So if you have any software, how fast can you increase number of users, right? So you can have a large team or group of people, right? To focus just on that. How can they solve that problem to a fast possible way without the software to breaking into parts and breaking into and falling, I guess. But either way, the main purpose of OKRs is to align teams and individuals with the overall goals and mission of the organization and to ensure that everyone is working towards achieving measurable and impactful results. So either way, so that's another metric that you can use or a system that you can use to assess team's performance and how your team is doing against that performance that you would like to set for your team and what would be your goals that you would set, how you would align those goals to overall vision of your company and just some of those areas. Let's take a look at a brief overview of companies' OKRs. There are so many. There are so many different projects out there, right? But I don't wanna. I don't wanna promote those projects. So I have done a lot of research to understand different projects and how those projects operate. Depending on most of them, they need to be unique, right? So every project out there might operate differently, and they would focus on different things. But yourself, once you get a feel for different projects, you might understand some of those OKRs that the project might set for itself and how they would look to accomplish those OKRs. So, sometimes it can be very different. Sometimes very wild OKRs that they will set for themselves. If anything, if I were to develop any projects, there's some thought that goes into it, right? Let's take a look at key areas. That would be objectives. Objectives are high level, qualitative, and ambitious goals that organizations or teams wants to achieve. They should be clear, inspirational, and provide direction. Objectives are typically set for a specific time period, often quarterly or annually. So perhaps around the finances and how much finances you want to allocate for a particular period, for a particular team, how much that will cost for you to solve that problem within your project, right? That's not ideal. That's not ideal. I do understand what they're trying to achieve, but there are better systems of that. There are a lot of better systems, right? But I'm covering those systems in all my work, by the way. But in a way, that's a different way to think about stuff, so, which is always good, perhaps. I shouldn't be that ignorant. I guess if anything, I should be open for new ideas, right? But it's not ideal. But I can understand what they're trying to achieve, especially when developing any product, right? So it would be even within the stacks they talk about qualitative, not necessarily quantitative, so a different methodology that will come into play as well as how they will assess those goals and objectives. And perhaps if you were to find yourself So basically, yourself as a business leader, you need to understand full process, right? As well as you need to find a way, best way to explain that to your team, right? So based on your team's background, someone with finance background, not necessarily would understand what you're talking about with the lingo from a software background, right? So some people would perhaps would be more familiar with this setting, right? So what is something that you need to understand? Key results are specific, measurable, and time-bound milestones. They're missing information. They're missing the information. Key results. Key results are specific, measurable, time-bound milestones that include progress. What they are missing? That's my question. Achievable. They're missing achievable. So that this is what they're missing. So they're trying to copy someone else's work. That's what they're doing, right? Yeah. And so they would say they would defend themselves by saying that they would say, "Oh, it's very ambitious." So this is what they're trying to do. Yeah. Well, I get it. This is what they're doing. Key results are used to quantify success and help team stay on track. Each objective should have a set associated key results, usually 3 to 5 that then achieved demonstrate that the objective has been met. Either way. So, I mean, there's a better way of doing it, but I would like to cover this just because I have seen a lot of software developers working on some of those standards. This is not the best standard, but I mean, this standard is there, so I don't know who came up with this, but there are better standards there. Grading and sourcing. Key results are typically assign a numerical value to measure progress. Common grading system include from 0 to 1 or 0 to 100%. A score of 1 to 100%, right? It means that the key results was fully achieved, while lower scores indicate a varying degree of progress. Again, they trying to do something different. Okay, let's do what they do, right? So okay, I guess if that's a way how some of the software developers looking to operate or achieve, measure their success and give the score for themselves. So that's basically the system that some of the software developers from my research they're using this system. Right? OKRs are intended to be both aspirational and achievable, creating a balance that encourages teams to aim high while remaining realistic about what can be accomplished within specific time frame. I guess this is if that would be a highlight again. So the way how teams would prefer to operate, which set themselves not necessarily they would set themselves ambitious goals, what they should be achievable, what haven't been discussed within the standard. But again, so I mean, I see what they're doing. For people out there who are interested in learning more, I have published a book, a game strategy. In this book, I'm focusing a lot on strategy, different concepts, and the way how to think about business when organizing your business, perhaps when doing research. From research cycle, if you were to progress in actually taking action and launching your business, progressing from there, as well as if you were to have a lot of capital available, if you were at some point be interested in investing in different businesses. I'm covering a lot of concepts which I personally believe are very important. Then looking what projects might succeed up there in the marketplace, right? So I'm covering all these aspects within this book, whatever cycle you might find yourself in. I have completed this book with the intention to share with as many people as I possibly can. You can find this book in the description below, as well as Top Readers has it. OKRs are typically set at multiple levels within an organization, from company-wide objectives down to individual teams and employees. The idea is to create alignment and transparency so that everyone knows what they are working towards and progress can be regularly tracked and measured. That would be one of those ways how they would like to achieve that, which is important, which is great, I guess. Aligning all the people as well as looking for a best way to measure people's work and how they should set targets for themselves and how they should work against those targets and how they could measure their performance. Uh, there's a name. Well, I don't know if it's accurate, right? So the venture capitalists play a significant role in popularizing OKRs. He introduced the concept to multinational technology company up there without promoting anyone, and has since been adopted by many other successful organizations. OKRs are considered powerful tools for improving focus, setting priorities, and driving performance in various business contexts. Perhaps just myself, I have different systems, but perhaps I should try it, see if that system might work, as well as if some people out there might be more familiar with this particular system, or perhaps might be worth taking a look at implementing or trying and see what would work the best in achieving goals. Whatever works, that's the only thing that matters. Opinions doesn't really matter that much. Everyone has one, right? Thanks for watching. I'll see you next one.